Iron Man, issue number 13. Just looking at this cover, I had the shocking realization that this is legacy number 638. We've had 638 Iron Man books. That seems like a lot to me. Because it's Iron Man. Nobody was reading Iron Man ever. 600. Okay, that's great. Good for you, Iron Man. Good for you, Tony Stark. This is the only Iron Man book I've liked ever. I love this book. I think it's brilliant. And this issue was just a slugfest. It's just people beating the crap out of each other. It's been kind of like, I'm going to assume, of course I don't know, this might be the climactic first arc, or the first half of whatever kind of story Cantwell's telling, because this leaves a lot of questions to be answered. So last issue, Avro gets killed. Tony crashes onto Tattoo thanks to Living Tribunal. Everything's coming full circle. We see Unicorn is injured. Korvac's just like walking through the portal. He's like, I know where I'm going to get the ultimate power, guys. Trust me. We see our other people have now boarded. They're all kind of broken, and it's just a big fight is about to break out. Everyone's just getting ready to attack and building up. Tony is in immense pain. He is beaten and battered and broken. Frogman says, I think if we're going to die here, we should get a team name. So they're the Space Friends. And, they're in space. Tony thinks they're kind of his friends. So, friends, space friends. It's fun. It's cool. So they start to attack Blizzard. We see the team split up. And Frogman, War Machine, and Halcyon are attacked by Blizzard. And they're just kind of like taking him down. They manage to do it, but then we see that Frogman notices Korvac and the others sneaking through a portal. He falls through to them. They are walking just through Tattoo to find whatever it is they're looking for in this ship. Frogman comes in for the kill. Great for you, Cantwell, just doing something to Frogman since nobody else will. That's pretty cool. Frogman gets injured. Tony manages to break through the portal. And again, it's just a fight. It's just a slugfest with, minimal dialogue of people beating each other up. We see Misty Knight's getting some good licks in against some people. She kind of takes down Unicorn, shoots him in the knee. We see that Gargoyle and Hellcat show up, take down Controller. Basically, we have to get control of the Human Torch, and we have to get control of Korvac. Are these going to be things we can do? Maybe. We also noticed that there's something on the back of Jim Hammond that is kind of making him go along with everything going on here. So is he being mind-controlled? We kind of teased in like an earlier issue. It wasn't really mind-control. He just kind of did it. But now we're like, okay, something seriously up with that guy. As our team is like reconvening in the final waiting room, there's like this weird energy thing that Korvac's trying to get into. I'm going to assume it's got something to do with like the power cosmic and the power of Galactus, just because it's not like the egg that he's in, because I think Galactus exists here, but there's like an ultimate power or the power cosmic inside of this weird hexagonal thing that he wants to get into. Our team is reconvening at it. Tony says his brain is bleeding. He's probably going to die. Tony is on the verge of death. Every turn in this book, it's fantastic. But now it's just like, we have to win this fight. We got Korvac against us. We got the Human Torch against us. We see that Gargoyle just throws Hellcat at the Human Torch, and she pulls out the inhibitor chip on him, so now he's going to be able to snap back into some sense of reality. And it's just a big fight, and I like it. It looks great. Cafu's art is fantastic. I think it's strong stuff. I like that Cantwell said, let's just use a bunch of random characters and have them come together for no reason. His interpretation of Ben Reilly is fantastic, because this guy is just a dick. He's just like, yeah, it's fine. Let's just swing up through space and die. Let's just die. Like, what are we doing here? And it looks like our combined might with Jim Hammond snap back to reality and Misty Knight and with Tony, everybody looks like they're going to be able to defeat Korvac. Is it going to work? Maybe. Tony is literally just breaking this guy. They like melt the skin off of him, and then it just becomes like a punching fest where Tony is just beating the crap out of this dude. And everyone's trying to tell him to slow down, but he's like, I can't. I'm going to stop it. We're done. We did good. Everybody just everyone just take a moment. Then Tony collapses. And everyone's freaking out. Everyone gets back together. Frogman turns out to be okay. And Tony, again, in classic fashion for this book, he just gives up. He's like, we won. I'm going to collapse. I'll get back to my feet. My brain is definitely injured. I'm definitely not in a good position. And let's just figure out the next steps. So he needs to see a doctor. Where are they going to find a doctor in space? Sadly, he didn't defeat Korvac to the brink of destruction, so he has to go in for the finishing blow as Tony is literally struggling to move. He is limping his way across to Korvac, who is reaching his hand into this weird cube, this weird energy thing. It's got to be something with like the power cosmic. If they said it earlier on in the book, I forget what it was. I love the way they're setting up the Korvac and Tony like hatred thing, where it's like these two idealists looking for a better tomorrow, going about it from completely different angles, and both understand what the power of this cosmic entity could do for them. So Tony is going to die. Tony cannot win this fight. Everything is looking bad. He has to make a choice. He's got to do something to save himself and save the people around him. And the choice Tony makes is he reaches into the cosmic, whatever it is, whatever the power we're going to learn that becomes. And as Korvac was doing it, so does Tony. And it looks like Tony is going to become something more. Because as we see the narration in Tony's head, suddenly the colors start to change, and it starts off as this kind of like yellow and turns to this green, and then it ends in this blue backdrop. And it just goes, Tony is gonna become this really powerful entity now, isn't he? Tony, his whole being throughout this arc and throughout pretty much his conception was the man playing God, figuring out how to save the world, figuring out how to control every situation, whatever interpretation of Tony you want to look at. A core part of his belief is like the atheist who wants to show the world that God is among us and he can create these things to do it. Now it looks like we're going to be getting a storyline or an arc. I don't know if it'll stay with him forever, but whatever's happening next in this book, it looks like we're going to see a version of Tony that is literally imbued with the power of a god, which is kind of cool. It's a very strong idea. Is he going to merge with Korvac? Part of me thinks he might. And then it's like you have the ideals of Korvac inside that head, like the perfect utopia, mixed with the actual belief of Tony Stark. You could create something genuinely impressive there. Maybe Tony's going to try to like rebuild an entire civilization or save the people from that planet he was stranded on. That is really cool and a very strong way to end this book. It's a bunch of punching, it's a bunch of frogman, but you know what? It's great, and it just serves that Cantwell knows this character really well. He is just a broken man running through everything, avoiding all feeling in his body, physically, mentally, whatever Tony's doing, it's about the task at hand. Until he's literally on the verge of death. He is moments away from collapsing and never getting back up again, but he's like, you know what? If a god can die, then let's see if that god can be me. And I think that is incredibly cool and incredibly Tony Stark. And I know there's people who don't like this book, but give it 10 years, give it 20 years. When this thing becomes iconic, this is going to be the redefining moment for Tony Stark. It's going to be the book that people will look back on and be like, that is how Tony Stark should be portrayed. This broken man just struggling through every ounce of power to do the right thing. And when he eventually does, it is so cool to see. It's a strong outing for Tony. It's a strong outing for Cantwell. And this marks his longest running series, right? With 13, this is the longest he's been on a title. Good for you, man, because this is some strong stuff. And it feels like you're just getting warmed up. Whatever's coming next, I can't wait to see, because this book is genuinely impressive and cool. I love it. It's great. So Iron Man issue 13, I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.